So from the dawn of time there were two kinds of people, the Android people and the iOS people. And as a photographer you can't only use one, because as anyone will tell you, the Android has crappy qualities on social media while the iPhone just wins without a doubt. However, due to the Androids being more flexible, you have way more stuff and way more apps to use. But before we start with this video, I wanna have a moment to wish all of you a happy new year and a very productive 2023. I just wanna say that I wasn't really sure, I don't know what I'm doing with this, but I wasn't really sure that I'll be making a video this quickly. However, now is the time and let's get going with this video. And just a quick reminder, don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you like this video and like the video, or if you didn't like the video, dislike it. I won't really judge because I don't have anything better to do with my life. Alright, now let's crack with the jokes on the rest of the video, shall we? So I want to apologize in advance for this one, because I'm using a Sony phone, and I don't know how many of you know that Sony phones have a bit of an ecosystem in itself, in which 3 of the main apps that I will be showing you today are Sony only, and not even Sony only on their phones. Like, you won't have 1 or 2 of these apps on the older Sony phones, just on the newer ones, so keep that in mind. But I will definitely showcase some of the other apps that I use as a photographer in the second part of this video, where I'm tackling the iPhone apps, so just that small reminder. So starting this list is the greatly named Photography Pro app, which is targeted to photographers and amateur photographers only. It does offer some basic functionality with the basic camera mode, which gives you the 3 lenses that the phones have, and some bokeh and artificial blurring and the continuous shooting, which is a kind of nice addition since this phone can go up to 20 FPS per second on the main lens, of course, because why not? But the real magic happens when you go into the right corner and switch from basic to manual mode, because this manual mode on this phone is kinda crazy. I think Photography Pro really nailed it on this one, because it just offers you everything you need if you're a photographer. Of course, the software is based on their alpha line of cameras, but again, this is great. This is very great. You basically have all the things here, and if you are using the Sony camera, all the menus are very familiar to you. Starting with the main camera, this app offers you great range of flexibility. The shutter speed, which can range from 30 seconds to 1/8000 of a second, which I'm not sure my camera can do. Spoiler, it does, but like, I was too lazy to edit that and just correct it, so yeah, the camera goes to 1/8000 too. It has the eye autofocus, which is just insanely good. Like, take a look at this. You see the green dot that is just tracking my face? Like, it's that good. It's very great, even though you see my camera doesn't even want to showcase it. That's how good it is. You do have the focus mode, which can be AFS or AFC or manual focus, and the ISO is great too. It goes from 64 to 3.2K, which is also great. And we do have the RAW features, the auto white balancing, and the dynamic range optimizer, which I guess nobody knows what it's doing. I don't know, I'm not sure about that. You also have display options and the ability to change the lenses, which is kind of normal. Also on this app you have the memory recall, the shutter priority, and the program auto, which I don't know why we use them, but anyway. If you're an amateur or just a random person or a basic person, you can still look like a pro by just flicking it to the auto mode, which auto mode gives you pretty much the manual counterpart, like the manual menu, but it's on auto mode, and that's all I can say about it. Continuing this list, we have an app that is not even available on my phone and I had to sideload it, but that's, I guess, the beauty of Android. You can sideload apps and they work. And this is where the Videography Pro comes in. Videography Pro is another great addition by Sony into the photography and the pro lineup of their apps. From the beginning, you have the shutter options, which you can set. You have the ISO, the white balance. You can zoom in, you can choose focus points and use manual focus while recording video. You can also select the 4K 120 FPS, which is just insane. And to top it all off, you can do that 4K 120 in HDR on 10-bit. Like, if that's not insane, I don't know what is. Also, in the hidden depths of the menu, you can also choose from ISO to gain mode. You can choose the limits on HDR, on SDR. You can also adjust all sorts of stuff. You can reassign buttons, you can use streaming mode to stream directly on YouTube, which is very great, and many more settings which I'm not going to bother to talk about since I don't want to make this a Sony video only. The third app on the list is the app I used to shoot some videos on Untold Festival, because I wasn't allowed to use my full-blown camera and they won't let me take part in their fancy festival. I use my phone, and with this phone I use the Cinema Pro app. I think this might be the only app that lets you shoot 21:9 video in 4K, in HDR, with 120 FPS per second, and to top it all off you also have LUTs and color profiles. So basically you can choose from nothing to soft monochrome, soft YE40, cool, strong, warm, bright, opaque, and so on. But the best look of them all is the Venice ES, which Sony's professional cameras, the Venice lineup, use. Beside all of those video capabilities, this is just straight up to another level. And likewise for the Videography Pro app, this app also lets you change the ISO, the shutter, the FPS, everything else. So what this app really does, it allows you to shoot in log and pretty much shoot 21:9, but other than that it's the same like the other one. And now, after a short battery break because the camera ran out, I've been on this video for way longer than I should have, but alrighty, now we go to the iOS apps. Why do I use two phones? I'm not trying to flex or anything. This is not an insanely good phone, like it's the small one, so yeah, you can't expect a lot from it, but it does the basic jobs that it should. So I'm using this iPhone for a few reasons. Starting with social media, because everyone knows social media just goes better on iOS and offers way more function because somebody Apple pays the companies to make them apps great for their devices. That and the fact that the app developers just have to develop the apps for like 3 or 4 iPhones a year, while the Android industry produces like millions of phones. But anyhow, I'm using Instagram, TikTok and YouTube, which you should check, by the way, after you finish this video, of course, because you might want to stick to the end, because I have a few more apps that might pique your interest a little bit. So besides the social media apps, I use Lightroom Mobile, which I guess it's a no-brainer considering that it has so many features that the classic Lightroom has, and it's just quick enough. It doesn't matter if I'm at a mayhem, at a wedding or at a christening, somebody at some time might come to me and tell me that they need a photo quickly, and what can I do? Just apply my preset on the Lightroom Mobile and just go. And that's the main use of Lightroom Mobile, because I edit all my photos on PC and I usually don't give the photos just that quickly edited on the phone, might I add. But the second app I want to grab your attention is the Photopills app. Yes, the app costs around $5 or something, or 10 maybe, I'm not sure, I will check eventually. You might see it somewhere over here. It's an app that is mostly targeted to beginner photographers or astrophotographers, since inside it does contain some tools for astrophotography, such as stars detection or AR night sky or depth of field calculator, field of view calculator, and so on. But as a pro event photographer, I mostly use the planner, because I can choose a point on the map where my photo shoot will be, I can see where the sun will be, I can see how the blue hour will affect my photos, or how much daylight do I have left, and it's just a great app overall, and I can plan this ahead with 2 or 3 months or even more if you like to, which is a very helpful tool, because you don't need to go to those places and see where the sun will be in a few weeks. And that concludes my list. I know there are not many apps and most of them are just Sony phone and Sony related apps, but this is what I use from day to day. Most of my job includes the camera and editing them on the very expensive PC, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're taking photos with a phone, with a point and shoot camera, with a beginner DSLR, with a mirrorless, with a professional cameras, or with a PS3i camera thingy that I use as a webcam. The point I'm trying to make is that being a photographer or a videographer is not all about the gear. It's about the story you can make, it's about the lighting, it's about the edits, the cinematic aspect of it. Those things are way more important than the gear you can even shoot film and develop photos, and I saw tons of 35mm film photos on Instagram and they just look amazing, and everyone does their thing and I'm trying to do my best. Hopefully you like this video, hopefully you enjoyed it. I tried to make it as good as I could. I actually added a few new lights. I mean, you see this light last time, but I added this one and that one. I know you can't see them, but it's the entire lighting setup that hopefully looks good this time, and hopefully I can release this video as fast as possible. I mean, I'm still in shock because I managed to do 2 videos this quickly and I found something to do. So yeah, have a great 2023 and see you the next video. Peace.